Hi, everybody. This is Cheryl Gordon, yoga therapist again, and I wanted to give you 10 minutes to happier hips. This is something that most of us in yoga aspire to. We want to open our hips. And as we get older, sometimes that becomes more and more challenging. And sometimes there's joint restrictions as well. So here's 10 minutes that will a wonderful way to start your hips working for you in the morning. Or, just if you have a couple minutes and you want to stand up from your desk, too much computer time, and you want to get something going. So here we go. I'm going to start in a standing position. I'm just going to clear off my mat here. I'm going to keep my chair handy. You might want to have your office chair or a kitchen chair or something handy as well. I'm going to turn that chair around so that I can touch the back of the chair if I need any help with balance. So hips do not work all alone. They're part of the whole body matrix, and they need the support of their buddies. So we're going to start with toes. As you inhale, lift and spread your toes. Exhale, gather the toes into the mat. And try that 2 or 3 more breaths. So we're breathing in and out through the nose as best as we can. Then rocking up onto the balls of the feet and back onto the heels. Again, this is done with breath. You can inhale here and exhale here. Doesn't really matter. And then we'll lift one foot, circle the ankle around as we inhale, and exhale, circle the ankle around the other way. Good. And then as you inhale, stretch out your knee straight. Exhale, bend your knee. And try that a couple times. Move right over to the other leg. Not wasting any time with this. Inhale, one direction. Exhale, rotate the ankle in the other direction. And then one more time like that. Breathing slowly and evenly. In and out through the nose as best you can. Straighten the leg as you inhale. Bend the knee as you exhale. So these movements are very simple, but I use variations of this every single day when I prepare myself for exercise or more complicated movement, or just to kind of get ready for the day. Now we're going to move into actual hip movement. So again, you might like the chair to help you with balance. The idea is to keep the body here level and just move the leg, because this is actually the hip joint here where the leg bone fits into the hip socket. So I'm not trying to move my whole body to loosen up my hips. I'm trying to just move the leg in the hip socket. So let's start with whatever leg you like. As you inhale, the leg moves out to the side. Exhale, touch back down. We'll just do this with the breath a couple more times. Notice I'm not angling my whole body over. It's not about how high I can lift this leg. It's how I can work into the hip joint. Let's do the other leg, inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to turn sideways to show this, but you're fine right where you are. On this movement, let's inhale and exhale. Again, hand on the chair might be quite helpful. I want to keep my body upright, not lean forward or back. Just make this a movement about the leg. And then the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. And I could be holding onto the chair if I need a little help with balance there. This is really strengthening the gluteus muscles, the hamstring muscles. Beautiful. Last warm-up movement for the hips. I think I've still got a couple more minutes. I want to get this done in 10 minutes. It's a little bit of movement to really get into the hip joints. We might want to bend our knee a little bit. As you inhale, point the kneecap outwards. Exhale, point the kneecap in. Now just be cautious with this part of the movement if you've had a hip replacement in the last couple months. We're not putting any pressure on the leg, so I think we're okay, but just if it doesn't feel safe to you, don't do it. If you haven't had a hip replacement, you probably need the movement. Inhale, exhale. I'm keeping my hips square. I'm only moving the leg. It's like I'm opening the kitchen cupboard door. All the cupboards don't move, just the doors on hinges. And in this case, our hip is the hinge. Okay, I'm going to come down onto my back for a couple little moves. If you're not able to come down onto your back, you could easily sit in a chair and do this. I'm just cushioning myself because I'm on a hardwood floor here. There we go. So starting with our knees bent, feet on the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, you can do just like this. Inhale, exhale, gently hug one knee in towards your chest. You can hold on to the thigh or just grab a hold of the pant leg. And the other leg stretches out. Now, if you're in a chair, you just push the heel away from you so that your leg is as straight as possible. And if you're sitting in a chair, sit up as tall as you can. Don't slouch back. And take a couple of those nice patient breaths in and out through the nose. Slowly bend the straight leg. Stand the foot back on the floor and release the second foot. Inhale. And as you exhale, hug the other knee in towards your chest and slowly stretch out the second leg. It's called knee to chest pose. It's a nice way to release hip flexors, which tend to be tight on a lot of us. Then we can bend the straight leg, let that foot rest on the floor, the other foot rest on the floor. Last little bit, and then we'll let go of 10 minutes to happier hips. And this is an exercise that will help to open the hip joint a little bit further. It's really important not to force though. So if you're sitting in a chair, you might find crossing your legs a little bit uncomfortable. So you can just let your leg rest, or your foot rest on a stack of books or a low ottoman instead of bringing it right up to the cross leg. So we're going to take that first leg that we hugged in, hug it in again, then point the knee out to the side and cross the ankle over the opposite thigh. So if you're sitting in a chair and getting your leg up all the way to the top of your thigh is too comfortable, put a low ottoman or a stack of books and let your ankle rest on the floor like that. And from here, I'm going to do a little bit of what I call isometric work. So I'm going to reach my hand around to the outside of my pants. So I'm feeling the outer seam of my pant leg here. You won't see a whole lot of action, but you'll feel it if you're working along with me. So on the inhales, I want to try to move my leg that way, but my hand is pulling back this way. And then on the exhales, I'm going to relax. Inhale, try to move my leg out, but relax on the exhales. Inhale, try to move my leg out, and then relax. Now, what you can do is you can lift up the foot on the floor, hold on to your pant leg, and just increase the stretch on the outer hip. If you're sitting on a chair, lean forward slightly, and you'll notice you get an increased stretch on your hip. I don't want to pull myself to the point that I'm all curled up in a ball. That loses the quality of the hip stretch that I'm looking for. You might get enough hip stretch having your foot right there on the ground. Let's release both feet back to the floor. Compare the two buttocks. Do you feel that the side you've been stretching is just a little bit more spacious or softer? When you're ready, we'll draw the other knee in towards the chest, turn the knee out to the side, cross the ankle over to the thigh. Remember, there's modifications for this foot. It doesn't have to be up on the leg. Let's take this hand, bring it to the outside seam of the pant leg. Try to push the leg into the hand and relax. We're timing that with breath. We'll do it 2 more times. It's an isometric contraction for the muscles deep in the buttock. Muscles that tend to be a little dysfunctional and cause a little bit of trouble with our hips. After we've done that about 3 times, we can come into a slightly deeper stretch for the piriformis muscle. We want to keep our whole sacrum and tailbone on the ground and a little tiny curve in the low back here. So if you're leaning forward, try to keep your spine long. Don't round out like a cat back. Take 1 more breath. And then we can release both feet back to the floor. Maybe stretching your legs out if you're resting on the floor makes sense, or just staying in your chair for a second. Just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Notice the effect of these movements on your hips. When you're ready to move again, if you're on the floor like me, you'll want to bend your legs one at a time, roll to your side, and slowly stretch up. Take your time. Maybe if we're in the chair or we're here, we could slowly stand up. Take a few steps around your space. Do you feel like you have more movement or more freedom in your hips? So those are really simple movements. And if you're used to doing really deep, I call them sexy stretches. If you're really used to doing a lot of hip opening in your yoga practice, or you might be kind of bored by doing such simple stretches, but I think they're really effective and they're really healthy and they really balance your hip function instead of push you too far in one direction. So I hope you had fun with that today. We should talk again real soon. If you want more information, I'll put the link. You can get a free 4-video Free Your Hips in 10 Minutes course, and I'll put the link and you can sign up for that and do more work for your hips. Walk more carefully and fun. Talk to you soon. Bye.